that building right here, right there. You know, the blinds are pulled, no sign of life, but the super says that he knows that the tenants are home.
Right. How many men do you think you need to seal it off?
3, maybe 4.
Okay. All right. Take it. And sit on it till we get there, all right?
Okay. Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Yeah, but you know, we had 6 or 8 of those last night that didn't pan out. If Farmer and Cantrell's timetable holds, we only got about 3 more hours, so let's go. Brad, what are you doing here?
One Life to Live will continue in a moment.
Brad, I thought I told you to stay home. You might hear from me.
Yeah, well, Anna said that she'd listen for the phone. Now, wait a minute, Brad. How did you find out where we were? I thought the lid was on this operation.
Well, I've got a friend in the department. Yeah, well, when we find out who your friend is, he just might find himself up on charges.
Ed, please, come on. Let me help. Let me do something. This is my wife. We only got 3 more hours. Now, wait a minute. You want to help? Just stay the hell out of our business, huh?
All right,
Let us do our job.
Look, Vinnie, wait a minute. Now, look, tell you what we're going to do. Brad, why don't you stay by that phone over there, take any messages down, and then we'll get them from you, okay? Hey, Herbie, give my friend here a cup of coffee, will you? Okay, Brad? Yeah, all right. Let's go ahead.
What do you want with him?
Well, good morning. I'm Mrs. Harvey H. Hopkins, and you, I assume, are Mr. Jackson.
What do you want with Becky Lee?
I'm a friend of hers. Maybe she's spoken of me.
The landlady?
Yes, that's right.
I'll tell her you was asking for.
Becky's not home, you say?
That's right.
Well, when do you expect her? I don't mind waiting.
Ain't gonna do you no good. She'll want to see you.
How do you know that? Look, Mr. Jackson, I hate to be rude, but I'm going to insist upon seeing Becky. Now, either you can be civil and neighborly and invite me in, or I'll just wait right out here in the hall.
What do you want with her?
I don't think that is any of your business.
She is my wife. The part of the country I come from, a man got a right to know.
Oh, but Mr. Jackson, we're not in your part of the country now, are we? You know, it's so strange. Most of the people from the South that I've met are nice and gentle. Not at all like you. But then...
Get out of here.
Let her be, Luke. She's my friend, and she's welcome here any time. How are you, Miss Hopkins?
Oh, Becky. Pretty good, pretty good. How are you?
She is just fine, as you can plainly see now that you two have had your little talk. Why don't you...
Come on, Miss Hopkins. Come on in. Sit down. Tell me about everybody. How's Marco and Melinda and Mr. Bottomley?
Pretty good. Everybody misses you terribly. They long for the day they can see you.
Would you take these groceries and put them away? Then I'll make Miss Hopkins a cup of tea.
That you got a message from him, ain't you?
What?
From her boyfriend. He too scared to come over here himself, so I bet he sent you.
Luke, how many times I have to tell you I don't have a boyfriend? Now, will you please just leave us alone?
Anything you got to say, you can say in front of me.
There's no water in the bathroom.
We're gonna leave here. I gotta go looking respectable, huh?
Well, you've got plenty of time. We're not taking off until 11:30.
Well, I'm still not gonna shave with cold water. Emma, what's the matter with this place?
Now, where are you going?
What's that sober name, Wilson? Hey, Wilson! Get out of here!
What are you
Hey, Wilson, you're an enemy!
Herman. If you want to find the super, go find him, but the whole building can hear you.
All right, I will.
Morning, Herb. Where's everybody?
Oh, it's a little early, Roy, even for you.
Yeah, well, I got problems.
What, that leg bothering you again? Listen, why don't you go up to the VA hospital and have them take that slug out of you?
I wouldn't have anything to talk about if I did that, Herb. Buddy. Oh, now, got a problem with that boiler again. That building's falling apart. It's funny the way she kept hollering last night. I never knew German measles was all that painful.
You didn't get any satisfaction from Mr. Wilson.
Couldn't find him. Some guy said he spends every morning from 9 to 10 at Herb's place.
Who's Herb?
Some guy who runs a bar down on the corner. I didn't know that Wilson was a rummy the way he sucked down our booze last night. Anything been on the radio?
No, and I don't expect there will be now.
See? I told you they just stole the wallet.
Oh, we'll hear from them. As soon as they find the girl's body. But yes, Joanne, Miss Higgins will be here to answer any telephone calls. Yes, well, I should be down at the office, I suppose, in, 20 minutes or so. Don't worry, there's a plainclothesman right outside, waiting to drive me there. Okay. Yes, I'll see you, in a little while. Bye-bye. Hello? Is she speaking? All you need right now. Come on, let's sit down. I was just on my way to the office. Well, that can wait, can it? Can I get you something, a cup of tea or something? No. Thank you, no. No, I think I'm all right now. I was fine until that phone call came. Actually, I'd convinced myself that Joe would be home tonight. So I was going to go to the office, put in a full day's work. You were going to go to work? Well, I tell you, it's a lot better than sitting here and waiting for the phone to ring. Besides, I don't really want to give Dorian the opportunity to say that things are falling apart down there during the temporary absence of my husband. Oh, I don't think she dare say that. Come to think of it, she probably would. You better believe she would. Look what she did at the hospital. You know, I wouldn't even mind that. If only Joe.
He's going to be all right. Now, listen, I have kind of a message for you.
What message?
Well, Vinnie called me, and he called me from the south side. And he's down there with Ed, and they're following up a new lead.
What kind of a lead?
Well, he wouldn't give me any details, but he said that it's something new.
Well, what?
I don't know, but it must be important because he said it was based on something that Jim had told him about where he and Jenny had been hidden.
Oh, Wanda, I know about that already.
No, but what you don't know is that they've narrowed it down to a very small area of that neighborhood.
But how could they do that based on the very little information that Jim gave them?
I don't know. I'm not a policeman, but I know. Well, they have these artists, and they drew up a lot of sketches and maps, and they've narrowed it down, and Vinnie is sure that it's only a matter of time.
How much time? Lonnie Harmer said that Jenny has only 3 hours to live.
I dreamed I was in church. I could hear the music. I could hear the priest. I realized it was a solemn requiem mass.
Jenny.
I thought to myself, I don't mind dying. I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to leave Brad.
Jenny, we're going to get out of this place. I promise you.
Joe, I was so angry with him that night. I feel terrible about that. If I could just talk to him, if I could just tell him how sorry I am.
Sure. Hell, Jim's out of here, right? They're bound to find something out from him about this place.
How? We couldn't see anything when we were in that van.
Well, one thing, have you noticed that the windows, window wells, there's a basement apartment, right? Now, we've heard church bells, so we know we're there at church, and there's a fire station around here somewhere.
Look, Joe, I really appreciate what you're trying to do, but there's no way that the police can find us by what they find out from Jim. Anyway, Bonnie said that we wouldn't be here after tonight. If I could just see Brad one more time, if I could just tell him how much I love him.
Would you like another one of those, Mr.
Wilson?
Mr. Wilson, on me?
No, thanks. See, Herb? Here's a fellow that appreciates a veteran.
Which war were you in?
Korean War. Got a chunk of shrapnel right here to prove it. Souvenir of Busan.
Oh, Busan, yes, that was one of the big ones, wasn't it?
You know about that? Young fellow like you?
Well, I studied my history. Listen, Mr. Wilson, I couldn't help overhearing, what you were saying about, you have an apartment in your building?
Well, we got two of them. Of course, me and the wife is in one.
And what about the other one?
Sublet. Guy and his wife, her sister with German measles, couple of kids, who knows what else.
Have you ever seen the sister?
I told you she was sick. What?
Oh, I'm just curious because I'm looking for an apartment myself. Listen, if that's a sublet, it must be a short-term lease, right?
Right.
Any chance it'd be coming up soon?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, well, that's great. You suppose I could take a look at it? I'm looking.
Sure. Listen, it's just down the street. Let me finish my beer and we'll go, okay?
Well, everybody hopes those people will come to their senses. But in the meantime, there's Mr. Riley and Jenny Vernon just living it day by day. Oh, I think it's horrible. Now, why should I tell you this? You probably read it all in the paper. I don't get out much anymore. Just go to the club to work.
Them people don't mean nothing to her anyhow.
They do, too. Mr. Riley was real nice to work for.
Well, but I understand he can afford to be. Married the boss's daughter. Had things going his way most of his life.
That's not true. From what I understand, Joe Riley has worked and earned everything he has.
From what you understand.
That's right. And the fact that he was willing to replace Dr. Craig as a hostage, even you will admit that took some courage.
Or being dumber than a coon trade hound. Or maybe he's just looking to buy himself a plain pine box.
Don't you talk that way.
Oh, now, just observing, Becky Lee. Goodness knows you sure did take on a lot of important friends since you come to this here town, didn't you, huh? Mr. Joseph Riley, Ms. Hopkins, not to mention old Richard. Of course, now you're right about that. Old Richard ain't exactly your boyfriend no more, so I don't guess we can count him. You know old Richard, Miss Hopkins?
Of course I do.
Seen him lately?
Yes.
When?
This morning. How is he?
That's enough, Becky Lee.
He's all right. He's awfully worried about Mr. Riley and Jenny Vernon, and he does miss you terribly.
I said that's enough.
I think you better go on, Miss Hopkins.
All right, dear. Oh, Becky, I don't suppose you'll be able to come by and have dinner with me sometime next week before you go to work?
No, she can't.
I didn't ask you, Mr. Jackson. Neither did I include you in the invitation.
Ask a woman someplace, you're supposed to ask her husband.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were such a student of etiquette. Well then, Mr. Jackson, surely you know that good manners are based on one principle, consideration of other people, and caring about their needs and wants. Goodbye, Mr. Jackson. Becky, I'd love to see you again. Wish it could be the way it was.
Turn that thing off, Herman.
No, we might miss the signal.
I told you there's not going to be any signal. Not now. It's too late. It was supposed to be at 8 o'clock, and now that's 3 hours ago. Even a punk kid like Brad Vernon would have realized by now.
I still don't like this.
What don't you like?
When are you gonna do it? Bonnie, you kill that girl. It's gonna be a murder of one rap for both of us.
Sometimes I can't believe the things you come out with. Don't you understand? Herman, you and I are going to die. Everyone in the front line of the movement is going to die. It's just a matter of how or when or for what reason. You follow me?
I'm not afraid. I mean, we've come this far, haven't we?
I've come this far, dragging you every step of the way. Now I'm afraid you're going to be so busy looking over your shoulder or worried about your immortal soul or whatever that is that it's got you so bugged as far as that girl's concerned. Herman, we have a rare opportunity to serve the cause. Can you think of a better way to die?
I didn't get your name.
Oh, I'm Brad.
Oh, right.
Listen, Miss Wilson, I've got an appointment that I really have to get to. Do you suppose we could go look at that apartment now?
Sure.
Right. Okay. There you go. I think that should cover it.
Wait a minute. Didn't the lieutenant say for you to stay right here?
Wait. What lieutenant?
Oh, he's a friend of mine. It's all right. Look, you just tell him. I'll be right back. Okay? Here we go.
Where you going, Brad?
On One Life to Live.
They're going to kill Jenny.
As the final hour approaches, Viki is helpless.
In 12 hours, they're going to kill Joe.
Vicky,
and on General Hospital.
Monica, what kind of love was that? A love that allowed an affair with you and God knows how many other ones. Well, maybe it wasn't the kind of love you wanted, Gail. But it was the best that Craig had to offer.
One Life to Live, General Hospital.
Weekday afternoons on ABC. Yeah. They're upset. Something about a radio message they're supposed to get from the authorities.
A message?
Yeah. It was supposed to come over WVLE at 8 a.m. And it hasn't yet. That's why they're so upset. I don't know what it means.
Means we're going to die.
Come on, Jenny.
Look, we can't keep fooling ourselves like this. Please, I can't. I feel it. I've been feeling it all day.
I mean, that's because you had that dream. Remember, it was just a dream.
This is like a dream, isn't it? I'm being trapped like this, but it's not. It's real.
Jenny, I mean, it's going to be all right.
Joe, you cannot fool me. I know you don't mean that.
Yes, I do. I mean, you're misinterpreting what I'm saying because you're upset.
I just don't have any hope left.
And faith.
Joe, those people are insane.
Listen, Jenny, I'm sure they've made another attempt to exchange us for Paul Kendall. I mean, that's the only reason they've been waiting for this message.
Yes, and it's not going to come. We know that the police are not going to turn over Paul Kendall for us, and we don't want them to. And the only other alternative is for us to die.
But we could be rescued. Now, you've got to keep that in mind.
I'm trying to think about that, but they're not worried about that. She leaves the house every day, every night. She always comes back. They're not catching her. Nobody spots her. They're not worried about it. They don't know where we are any more than they did when we were first captured.
Jenny, snap out of it.
I can't. I'd like to, but I can't. I'm so worried about Brad. Brad needs me. What's going to happen to him? He's going to turn bitter. He's going to turn self-destructive. He's never going to pull himself out of this.
Come on, listen. You can't let this get to you. You've got to be strong.
Oh, he's not. Well, can you get a message to him? Oh, yes, I see. No, Dr. Craig would rather speak with Lieutenant Hall. All right, thank you. He said he'll have Ed get in touch with you as soon as he calls in.
Did they say where he was?
No, but I assume he's out with the other men trying to pinpoint the hideout, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't remember to tell him about Bonnie and Herman's plan when I was with him. I guess I just subconsciously blocked it out because I just didn't want to think about it.
Why did you tell me what it is?
Because I don't want you to think about it either.
Jim, I'm fully aware of all the danger involved.
Well, they had decided that if the police rushed their place, they would kill their hostages, and then they'd kill themselves. I said, where are you going, Brad?
Hey, that's none of your business, fella.
Brad?
Mr. Wilson and I are just going out for a little bit. I'm just tired of hanging around in this dump.
And who is this guy?
So you're just going for a stroll? Huh?
Yes, that's right. We'll be back in a little while.
Hey, I guess you're one of those people that don't care much for sun, because in a basement apartment, you don't get much.
Wait a minute. Hold it right there. What basement? Where?
Who the hell are you asking all these questions?
Lieutenant Hall.
Cop. You too?
No, he isn't. He just thinks he is.
Hey, what's going on here?
Where's this apartment you were talking about?
just down the block. He said he wanted to rent it.
He did he? Well, the only person who's going to rent that apartment is me. You stay here just for a minute. I want to talk to you. Come on, Brad. Now, what do you think you're doing?
Ed, it is 11 o'clock. My wife is going to die at 12. You do know that, don't you?
I know that. That doesn't explain what you're doing.
I'm talking to the guy. I'm just talking to him. He tells me he's got a basement apartment with some weird people in it. I thought I'd go check it out. That's all.
Oh, I see. You were just going to go in there and tear the place apart with your bare hands, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know you don't know. You're losing your mind, Brad.
I'm about to lose my wife.
Brad, they have guns.
I'd be willing to die for Jenny.
That won't save Jenny.
All right, well then, will you go and do something? Don't stand around talking to me about it. Go do something, will you?
Yeah, just like you were going to do, huh? Mr. Wilson, can I talk to you for a minute, please?
Yeah.
I want you to look at these photographs. Those are people in that apartment?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
I don't believe... Well, what are you doing? You got these people living in your apartment, you never bothered to call the cops?
Why should I?
Don't you watch the news? Don't you watch television?
I do, but... Bonnie something another and Herman Cantrell. That's who they are.
That's who they are.
Oh, man, then all that banging and noise, it wasn't kids. It was the hostages.
All right, Ed. Now you know where they are. What are you going to do?
That's the only thing that gets them down here. Herman, would you lock that door? There's no time to get careless.
I know. I got mad because I can't shower. I can't shave.
That's not it at all.
What are you talking about?
You're not pacing around here all uptight because of that hot water. You're uptight because there's only an hour before the execution.
Yeah, you're right.
So why don't you face facts, Herman? Get used to it.
This doesn't make sense. Why hasn't there been a message on the radio?
I don't know. And I'm starting not to care.
Why is Kendall so important? I mean, why are they going to let the nurse die for him?
Because they think we're bluffing.
But Kendall knows better. I mean, he knows us.
Maybe they won't listen to him. We should never have given that doctor back. They think we're soft because of that.
And if they're going to let the nurse die, then they're going to let Riley die too. I mean, we're going to end up killing two people, and Kendall's still going to be walking around.
Maybe not. Maybe after we deliver the girl's body, maybe they'll understand. And they'll hand over Kendall.
Why? Maybe it's something else.
What else could it be?
Maybe they're closing in on us.
How?
I don't know. Maybe the doctor told them things, so they figured out where we are.
What could he have told them? He could have told them they were being held in an apartment. Yeah, big deal. They're stupid. They're not going to find us.
Sure hope you're right.
I am, Herman. Trust me.
You're going to kill her here?
I'm not going to kill her, Herman. You are.
Come in. Hi. Any news?
No. Not that I know of, anyway. Tell me, how long have you been staring at that?
Hours. I've been rewriting the headline the way it should read. terrorists succeed in execution.
You know something, Paul? I am really getting sick of this death wish that you have. It's a cop-out and you know it.
What are you talking about?
Nobody around here really believes that your death will save Joe and Jenny, and neither do you.
Well, it might. And that possibility means that I should turn myself over to them.
Well, in any case, whether it saves them or not, the point is you would die like a hero. Just the way you were supposed to have 4 years ago. You really like being a hero that much?
Now, wait a minute.
No, I mean it. All of the national attention, all of the national mourning over the loss of such a courageous American. Tell me, you really like that?
Stop it, Pat. I don't give a damn about being a hero. I'm concerned about Joe and Jenny.
I think that you would like to punish me, too.
You know, since you walked in here, nothing you have said has made any sense at all. The last thing in the world I would want to do is punish you.
Are you really sure of that? It's because of me that your son is dead? We're married and yet we don't live together as man and wife. There's got to be a lot of anger going on there. But you're going to show me, aren't you? You're just going to go ahead and die and leave me.
Look, I have had enough of this. Now, if you're going to keep talking nonsense, do it outside. I don't want to hear it. I don't need it.
Well, what do you need? Death?
Look, why don't you just leave me alone, okay? Pat, the Chronicle says that there's a rumor that Bonnie called Brad. Something about threatening Jenny? Is that true? Well, tell me, damn it!
I don't know what Bonnie called Brad.
You're lying to me. I can see that.
Well, what difference does it make whether there was one phone call or 30?
You just tell me what's going on, and I'll decide whether it makes a difference or not.
All right. There was a call made to Brad last night around midnight.
Threatening Jenny if I'm not turned over to them?
Yes.
When? I mean, did they set a deadline? Come on, Pat, tell me.
Noon today.
Noon? But it's 10 after 11. That gives us 50 minutes.
Yes, I know.
Why am I not told these things? Why do we always wait until it's almost too late?
You know darned well why. Because we're all trying to keep you alive. Now, Ed says that he thinks they're getting close. He really thinks they're going to catch them.
But there is only 50 minutes left. Bonnie's going to do it. I mean, I know she's going to do it. She's cried wolf too many times. And I'm sure she's not too happy that I wasn't standing in that window when I was supposed to be and that the sniper missed. Pat, I have got to get out of here.
There are 3 policemen out there who have orders to throw you into jail if you try and walk out of this room.
There has got to be something that I can do. But what? I've got it. I have got to go on the radio and plead with them not to do it.
Well, they are waiting for a message, so I guess they are listening to the radio.
I'll tell them that I tried to carry out their instructions, but I couldn't. Maybe I can appeal to whatever little reason they have. Maybe I can get through to Herman, who knows? But I have to try, Pat. You've got to help me. I deserve this chance to help.
Well, all right. You start thinking about what you want to say, and I'll try and put everything into motion. To me in care of Dr. Craig's office, because that's where I'll be for the next few days. Yes. Thank you very much.
Would you please come in here? Yes, right away. Yes, Dorian, what is it?
Why, my dear, what's wrong? Did you get up on the wrong side of the bed today? You've been in a bad mood all morning.
If I am upset, it is because it is 11:15, and I have yet to hear one word from my husband about those terrorists.
Well, I suppose they were able to fool him as easily as Paul Kendall did yesterday. I mean, he had the whole hospital turned inside out, checking everyone inside, when the sniper was outside on the roof.
You sound like you're more concerned about the inconvenience than the fact that Paul and Pat were almost killed.
No, I'm not. I'm just simply telling you that your husband put me, as well as a lot of people, through a lot of trouble for absolutely nothing. We are now back to zero, back to the first step.
That is not quite true. Because Paul lied and prevented my husband from capturing that sniper, there has been a new development.
Well, what is it?
Bonnie has threatened to kill Jenny at noon today.
Oh, my God.
That's why I'm so concerned about hearing from my husband.
Well, yes, I certainly can understand that. Oh, but, back to this letter. You see, you misspelled a word.
I tell you that Jenny might be murdered within the hour, and you're prepared to continue with business as usual?
You know, I think you're misunderstanding me. I mean, I'm certainly as concerned as anyone else about what's going on. And I sincerely hope and pray that no more further tragedy will happen. But we have to keep on going, don't we? I mean, this hospital has to continue to function. And I think the most important thing that we could do is to keep ourselves so busy that we're really not aware of all the terrible things that are going on. Now, if you will please get back to this letter.
All right. What is it that I'm supposed to have misspelled?
You misspelled embarrassed in the second paragraph.
That's spelled correctly.
Well, I'm sorry. You see, it is not spelled correctly. Embarrassed has only one R in it.
And I'm sorry. You're wrong. There are two.
You know, Carla, I really don't have time to sit and debate you about this. I would very much appreciate it if you would take this letter and retype it with the correct spelling.
There's no need to debate it. All we have to do is look it up in the dictionary.
I don't have the time. Just please do as I say.
Now, I am assuming that your attitude is a result of your concern for Joe and Jenny. Otherwise, lady, I would walk out on you. Now, you wait there a minute while I get the dictionary.
A lot of sense. Sounds too dangerous.
Of course it's dangerous. We're dealing with maniacs who don't care about anybody's lives, including their own. But there's no way around it.
But can't you think of something else, something that doesn't include me?
You're our ticket into that apartment. They know you.
God, Ed, please, will you just get your men together? Will you bust in there?
Brad, I keep telling you, those people have guns. If we break into that apartment, Joe and Jenny just might be in the line of fire.
All right, well, maybe your plan makes some sense then.
Makes a lot of sense. So how about it, Mr. Wilson?
I don't know. I got a Silver Star in Korea for bravery. But I don't feel very brave these days. You know, my life has changed. I've changed. Look, about 5 years ago, my first wife died suddenly. And since that time, I just started drinking, and I don't seem to care about anything much anymore. But I don't want to die, I can tell you that.
Look, Mr. Wilson, your first wife died suddenly. I'm sure that was a great shock to you. I mean, you loved her, didn't you?
She was the greatest woman in the world. I worship that woman.
All right, well, then that's how I feel about my wife. That's how I feel about my Jenny. Please, look, Mr. Wilson, she She was a nurse. Before that, she was a nun. In her entire life, she has done nothing but help people, care about people. We just got married. We were happy, and then these people, they took her, and they are going to kill her. Today, at noon, they have sworn that.
She must be pretty, isn't she?
She's beautiful. She's young, she's lovely. Please do whatever he wants to help get her back.
Okay. Okay. I guess they didn't give me that medal for nothing.
Good man. Let's go. Not you, Brad. You will just be in the way, okay? Spencer? Ed. Look, I want you to close this bar down, all right? And then keep Mr. Vernon company, okay? Let's go, Mr. Wilson. Anna, what time is it?
Almost 25 past 11.
Why doesn't that phone ring?
That's what I kept asking when you were being held. But it finally rang. And I heard that you had been released.
But is it going to ring this time?
Yes.
You really feel that positive, huh?
I felt it when you were a hostage and I got you back. So I'm not going to waver now. Yes, the phone is going to ring. Yes, they are going to be rescued.
I wish I could feel that way. But I can't. Because I know how ruthless that girl really is. And how desperate she is for what she considers revenge.
Darling, there are hundreds of policemen out there closing in on them. They know the area because of what you told them.
Yes, did I tell them enough? Were there some other things that I didn't remember? Little things. Some significant detail.
What are you doing to yourself? If anything should happen to them, you can't feel guilty.
I'm not so sure. Maybe when I was there with Jenny, I could have done something more to help.
You had a very bad heart condition. You were weak. You were in pain. You barely got out of that place alive. Now, what on earth more could you have done?
I don't know. I guess I'm not making much sense. I can't help it. I'm feeling so frustrated.
You're feeling it out of your anxiety. But you're in no way responsible for Jenny and Joe still being there.
Oh, no, honey. You know I'm responsible for Joe being there. If he hadn't volunteered to bring the medication, he would never be there at all.
Please stop talking like this. I don't want to hear anymore. It's not going to help any. Yes, come in.
Hi.
Paul.
You're up and around. How wonderful.
What, you're out of your room. Is that allowed?
Well, they got a police escort. They're standing right outside the door, so... How are you? Oh, I'm still a little weak. There's still some pain, but as good as can be expected. They tell me that I have a terrific heart.
Well, thank God for that. I'm really sorry that you two got involved in all of this, but I'm glad that they let you go, Jim. I tried to get Ed Hall to trade me to them to get you out, but
They told us about that, Paul. That was very brave of you.
Yes, it was.
Well, it wasn't really brave. It just made sense, but nobody wanted to listen.
Paul, you can't do that.
Yeah, well, the reason I came here is that I have just gotten off the phone with Dorian, and we're putting into operation a plan that I have.
What's that?
Well, we're going to get a mobile broadcast unit in here, and I'm going to make a personal appeal to Bonnie and Herman for our friends.
Well, that sounds like it could be a good idea. Maybe even a damn good idea.
Well, it's the only one that I can think of at the moment.
Fine. Now, there's one thing I want to do it with you. Maybe between us, we can get through to them. At least to Herman, maybe.
Okay.
Good.
We'll both go in the air.
Good, good.
Jim, you're so weak, and don't
Honey,
get you more
honey,
excited.
please. I'm going to do it. That's all there is to it.
There. No one will hear you.
Bonnie, I don't see why I have to be the one to kill her. I really don't.
That's why you do, Herman. You keep scaring me. I'm afraid you're losing your nerve and your conviction in all of this.
No, I'm not. Just that, I mean, she's so young. She's so... Well, I don't know how I'm going to be able to look at her and still shoot her.
You turn her around and you shoot her in the back. Simple. Furthermore, you're not supposed to be thinking of her as a young woman. She's the enemy. They come in all sizes, shapes, and ages. It doesn't matter.
I'll kill Riley if we have to. You kill the girl.
This topic is closed.
Attention, Bonnie Harper and Herman Cantrell.
This is it. That's the message.
It's about time.
We have a live message for you from Paul Kendall and Dr. Jim Craig.
Kendall.
We'll speak to you.
It's another
Dr.
cop-out.
Craig's
It's
hospital.
another stall. The execution of that nurse goes on as scheduled.
One Life to Live will continue in a moment.
No, I want to hear.
First, Paul Kendall.
Yeah, you want to hear Kendall give a lot of cowardly excuses? Is that what you want to hear, Herman?
Bonnie, Herman, this is Paul Kendall speaking. Less than an hour ago, I was told of your latest demand. And what you must understand is that I am ready to meet that demand, just as I was ready to meet the last one. However, there were circumstances and the authorities and my physical condition that prevented me from doing as you wish. So now I want to make a proposal. Please let the innocent people you now have hostage go. Let them go tonight. Do not carry out your threats. Instead, free Joe Riley and Jenny Vernon. Leave the area. Wait for enough time to pass. Time so that I can be released from this hospital, and when I'm on my own again, and you can contact me with new instructions, and I swear to you, I will carry them out.
Paul, what are you doing?
You use violence as a way to get the world's attention, to make them listen to you. Believe me, they are listening to you now. But if you kill Jenny, Vernon, and Joe Riley, they're going to stop listening. They'll stop out of anger and out of outrage. And even more importantly, to you at least, I will still be alive. So I repeat, let your hostages go, leave the area, and contact me later. This way the innocent will not have to suffer, and neither will your cause. And now, Dr. Jim Craig would like to say a few words. Don't refute what I said.
Herman. Bonnie. This is Jim Craig.
Oh, I suppose he's going to tell he's now willing to sacrifice himself for them, too.
My operation was successful, and they tell me I'm going to recover fully. For this, I thank you.
Joe, Jim is all right.
It was only a few days ago when I sat in that room firmly believing that I was going to die. But then something happened. Your humanity asserted itself, and you made it possible for me to have the operation that I needed. I don't believe you did this out of weakness
but rather because you are basically humane, in spite of the ideology that sets you apart from us. You set me free, and so you saved my life. Now, you must, for your own sake, as well as for the sake of your hostages, please, you must extend that same humanity to Joe Riley and Jenny Vernon. Please, I beg you. We all beg you. Please listen again to that voice in your heart that must tell you that the innocent should not die for a theory, for a cause. Please, I beg you, let them live.
And this concludes our live broadcast.
Well, Paul told me that he was going to appeal to their reason. I should have known that he was going to offer to die.
That's what they consider reasonable.
But will that save Jenny and Joe?
That was right. Pray with me.
It made sense, Bonnie. Let's get him later. I mean, we'll let these two go, and then we can get Kendall later. What are you going to do?
It's awfully silent in here now, Richard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Silent enough to imagine all sorts of things. Bonnie and Herman freeing Joe and Jenny, opening the door and letting them go free. Or Bonnie and Herman in a rage throwing the radio against the wall because their demands weren't met.
Stop it. Don't do that to yourself. Don't talk that way. Don't even think that way.
Paul Kendall knows those people better than any of us, and he promised to surrender himself to them in exchange for Jenny and Joe. So he obviously believes that that's the only way they're going to get out. Problem is, I don't think that Bonnie and Herman will go for it, because I'm sure they know that Paul is desperate. They know we're all desperate, much more so than they are. They have no reason to capitulate.
Edward may be onto something.
Or he may not be. We certainly haven't been given any indication that he is. No phone calls, no messages, nothing.
Yeah, but maybe he knows something that he can't tell us about.
Maybe. It's 11:50. Richard, in 10 minutes, they're going to kill Jenny. And in 12 hours, they're going to kill Joe.
Viki, come on.
Oh, Richard, how dare they? How dare they? The arrogance, the unbelievable arrogance of that philosophy that it says it's our way or none at all, our way or you die. No, I've lain awake at night trying to understand them so that I can understand what they're doing to my husband and to Jenny, and I can't. Because it involves mindless, cold-blooded killing, and I don't understand that. They foster hatred and chaos. And 99% of the people in this world abhor what they're doing. How can they possibly believe that's the way to achieve a goal?
The goals are unrealistic, Viki. Just acting out of desperation.
Yes, but they don't think so. They truly believe that everyone in this world is expendable, including themselves. How did they get to be that way?
reasoning so badly that they feel that only what they believe is right and to hell with everybody else?
I don't know. Nobody knows that at this point.
Richard, if we can't even understand it, how are we ever going to deal with it? How is Joe going to deal with it now? Right now? And they're going to kill Jenny. Oh, Joe. Richard, what's going to happen to them?
Failed, didn't it? Our last chance, and it's failed.
Are friends. So I'm giving you 30 seconds to say goodbye to each other. You're doing staring at me like that. You're wasting your 30 seconds.
Myself, I'm trying to figure you out. What move have you got planned now?
3 more wasted seconds, Riley. Now she's going to be first. That's because no one gives a damn about her. Believe me, we know. Her establishment friends are willing to let her die to save Paul Kendall. And then you're next, Riley. We told them that 12 hours after we kill the nurse, it'll be your turn.
Bonnie, please now, you do whatever you want to do with me, okay? Let Jenny go, okay?
Joe, please.
Jenny, I'm gonna let you die here for nothing.
Don't be too sure. You want to make this a double death, Riley? Because believe me, I'm going to enjoy pulling this trigger facing you.
You enjoy this period, don't you? It's what makes you a fanatic instead of a true revolutionary.
Time for goodbyes is up. Now let's go.
Wait a minute. Get back. Now, Bonnie, you just said that it'd give you a great deal of pleasure to kill me, huh? Okay. Why don't you do it? I mean, I'm the big executive editor, you know, the establishment, the powerful pig, huh? Now, Bonnie, why don't you show the world you mean business, huh? Hey, go ahead, kill me, but let her go.
No. For 2 reasons. The first one being that we never really intended to kill either of you. The only thing we wanted was Paul Kendall. If we had gotten him, but we don't have him. So now you're going one at a time. And she's first.
Not yet. About one? Not about. Exactly what time? 1 minute after. I've got 1 minute up. What about you? On the button. Look, I can't take this. I'm going out.
No, you aren't, buddy. My orders are to keep you here.
Look, I don't care about your orders. I just want to find out about my wife. Please.
Hey, look, you can't go running out there with all those cops around. I mean, there must be 100 of them in the area.
Well, then why doesn't one of them go in there and save her, huh?
All right. Oh, sure. Richard, I wish you'd known my father. When I was a little girl, he used to take me aside whenever I was upset about something or had a failure, and he would lecture me about not giving in to my feelings.
The Lord never cries.
That's right. Lords have backbones of iron, he would say. And I would pretend that I did, but then afterwards I'd go in my room and I'd cry. Because I couldn't let him see that I didn't have that backbone.
Viki, I'm sure you have that backbone. You're just not aware of it, that's all.
No, because if I did, I wouldn't be like this now. Oh, God. I pray they'll be all right.
What are you going to do? Shoot them both right here?
Riley's not giving me much of a choice.
Who in there? It's the super.
Yeah, now he finally shows up. All right, now I'm going to keep them quiet in here. And you get rid of him out there.
I'm coming.
One life to live.
They're going to kill Jimmy.
As the final hour approaches, Viki is helpless.
In 12 hours, they're going to kill Jimmy.
Viki.
And on General Hospital.
Monica, what kind of love was that? A love that allowed an affair with you and God knows how many other ones. Well, maybe it wasn't the kind of love you wanted, Gail. But it was the best that Greg had to offer.
One life to live, General Hospital.
Following All My Children.